everyone. Welcome back for another episode of the Cup of Joe show. I'm Jeremy. I'm not Jeremy. That was the worst opening. That's Jeremy. I am Joe. Wow, that was bad. All right. So, hey, the show can only go up from there, guys. So, just to let you know. Well, so here's the deal. The summer movie season has come to a close. Um, that was me closing the door on the summer season.
Very symbolic.
Right? Yeah. So we we saw a couple movies last week, didn't we? Reviewed a couple. Yeah. So we
Yeah.
don't have any for this week. Yeah, we reviewed Sin City and The Expendables 3 last week. So yeah, we have nothing because there's nothing out, and it's gonna be some rough times ahead, as usual, as as the fall season goes. But right now we're gonna recap the summer movie season and give just kind of some overall impressions of it. Um, Now, did it start in April this year, or are we staying strictly to May? Let's stay strictly to May.
Yeah.
All right.
The summer movie season, for all intents and purposes, starts the first weekend of May.
Right. But it's funny because I think it's just going to keep moving up and up. Captain America: Winter Soldier, first week of April this year. Next year you have Batman v Superman at the end of March. So
Hunger Games came out in March.
that's true. That's true. So, but strictly May to August. That's where we're looking. Even though summer doesn't start till June. But all right. So basically, to start with, we started the summer movie season with The Amazing Spider-Man 2, and I guess it pretty much ended once. I'd say when Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles came out. There was nothing really big box office after that.
Well, officially, as the box office goes, the summer movie season ends with Labor Day. But in terms of like blockbusters, yeah,
Right.
it ended with TMNT.
So all right, so it just throw some stuff out there. Just overall impressions of the summer. What you liked, what you didn't like compared to other years. What do you think of the summer movie season?
Well, I think regarding the box office, two words jump out. One is disappointing, and the other is lackluster. In terms of the quality of the movies, it was a pretty solid summer. By and large, people hate The Amazing Spider-Man 2. They really worse than Spider-Man 3. Hate it.
Yeah,
Joe and I like it.
right.
I didn't think it was that bad at all. Godzilla was disappointing. Still an entertaining flick. Days of Future Past was great. Guardians of the Galaxy was great. How to Train Your Dragon 2, that was a really good movie. 22 Jump Street, that was really funny. So, there were some pretty high quality movies that, I definitely had a good time in the theater watching. But, for whatever reasons, they just did not resonate with audiences, or they resonated with them for one weekend and then just caved horribly. In the case of Spider-Man and Godzilla, to open in the 90s and barely get over 200 is just, it's all kinds of just sad, just unbelievable. It's kind of pathetic, really. But I guess it makes their openings even more impressive, especially Godzilla. But that said, yeah, it was a good quality summer. Box office, just a lot of letdowns, including Maleficent. That is a letdown that made that much. But I'm very happy that Maleficent is not the highest grossing of the year, either domestically or worldwide, or for the summer too. Transformers and Guardians of the Galaxy will beat it domestically, and Transformers will beat it worldwide. It has made way too much money, so that's extremely disappointing. But I'm happy to see. Funnily enough, I'm happy to see Transformers beat it, because Transformers is probably even a better movie, not even more entertaining, but better. And of course, Guardians of the Galaxy ended the summer on a very high note, and will probably reach 300. meaning this will not be the first summer in like 13 years to not have a movie crack 300. So, kind of rambled there, but let's bring it to Joe.
Well, I mean, you said a lot of the stuff yourself. I thought the quality of movies was actually very good. There's a real string of films during the summer that, week to week, I was just like, this was good. This was good. I was entertained. This was good.
Edge of Tomorrow.
Edge of
I forgot
Tomorrow.
about that.
Yep. Or Live, Die, Repeat, as it's known now. That was a shocker. As we've mentioned, worst marketing campaign in the history of movies, and then it ended up being a fantastic film. Great sci-fi film, just really good.
Check it out.
Entertaining, fun. You've got The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I liked it. I thought it was good. And I think that people just kind of look back and, at that time there was nothing to really compare Spider-Man to. To compare Spider-Man 2, not Spider-Man 2, but to compare it to, the quality of comic book movies were not that up. And now, versus what Spider-Man 2 was against, The Winter Soldier had just come out a month before it, and then X-Men Days of Future Past just came out a few weeks after it. You're sandwiched between just these are not just good comic book films. They're great. They're at the top of their franchises. The Winter Soldier is the best Marvel standalone film, in my opinion, and it rivaled with The Avengers as being the best Marvel film. And that's the Marvel Cinematic Universe, not, crap. Am I saying that right? The one that's owned by Disney.
Yeah.
X-Men, yeah. X-Men is Marvel, but not, it's Fox. Would you all just merge together so I can make these conversations easier? But anyway, X-Men Days of Future Past was the best film in the X-Men franchise, and there's 7 of them. So when you compare it to that, I really think people would have been okay with The Amazing Spider-Man 2 if it wasn't sandwiched between such great comic book movies to compare it to. So speaking of X-Men Days of Future Past, probably the best movie of the summer, and arguably of the year, as we had argued earlier. Go back a few episodes. Guardians of the Galaxy, fantastic. I'm glad it has already surpassed Transformers for the summer crown, and it's only going to continue to grow. Hopefully, get over that $300 million mark domestically. So that's just great to see, because it was a fun film. We saw it again last weekend, and also Pete Cameron from the Times Tribune also went to see it again. People are loving it. People are going back, and that's really what you expect to see. Especially with these big time movies coming out in the summer. So that's great for Guardians, and like you said, you mentioned all the great movies. Transformers was disappointing. It was entertaining, but it was disappointing because we thought we were going to get a quality film, honestly, and it really wasn't. It was just entertaining. Granted, it was very entertaining. I'm trying to think of the others. Million Ways to Die in the West was a very disappointing film. A huge step down from Ted. I don't know. Huge step down for Seth MacFarlane, who I think comedy is pretty intelligent, and Million Ways to Die in the West is just dumb. But yeah, overall, you hit them all, really, and there were very few that I went to, and I was just I shouldn't have gone to this. Lucy was the most disappointing movie of the summer, actually, come to think of it.
Also, just straight up the worst.
It was the worst. Yeah, it's probably the worst movie, of the year so far. So
don't see it. Don't support it.
Don't support it. Yeah, Unfortunately, it's too little, too late.
I love Scarlett Johansson, but but no, it's awful.
It's just
It's not her fault.
No, it's not her fault, and it's too little, too late. Unfortunately, people went to see it, and I think it hurts the chance for a Black Widow movie. I mean, people know that she can gain the fans, but if they had just jumped into that first, they would have had. I mean, now I could just see people doubting, just being like, "Well, I don't know if she could do it. I don't know if she could be in a good movie that she is the lead character." So, I guess that would be the biggest disappointment. But as a whole, very entertaining, great quality summer that unfortunately kind of failed at the box office. Just failed to get over. I mean, I don't think a lot of those movies profited, but it's just strange not to have one crack 300 million. Although Guardians of the Galaxy probably will. So that's our impressions. Jump in the comment section. Tell us what you think. What you thought the best movie was of the summer, and just any impressions. So now we're going to move on to the box office with Jeremy Evans. It was a very exciting week. Where do you see it?
Okay, so we've pretty much already moved into that time of the year where the box office just sucks, and for the next month, it's going to get even worse. It's gonna get really ugly. So forgive me if I kind of just breeze right through this. Okay, well, normally I do the top 5, but last weekend, Sin City: A Dame to Kill For opened in 8th with 6.3 million. There's not much to say about that other than it's in contention for flop of the decade. That's unbelievably horrible. I have nothing. There are no words. As a basis of comparison, the first one opened to, I think, 29. So this one did half of the first one's first day. So that should give you an idea. Anyway, 5th place went to When the Game Stands Tall. That opened to 8.4 million. I guess that's about what was expected. I can't imagine, the producers or whatever were expecting a big opening. The budget was only 15 million, so that's reasonable. 4th place went to Let's Be Cops. That was down 39% to 10.8 million. It has a total of 45 million so far. That's pretty solid. Budget's only 17 million, so this is easily going to turn a profit. It's not going to be some big comedy hit. It's not We're the Millers, but it'll do solidly rather. 3rd place we had If I Stay. That opened to 15.7 million. Clearly, The Fault in Our Stars, this is not, but that's a solid opening. It was actually number 1 on Friday, but both of our top 2 pictures managed to surpass it over the weekend. These movies based on novels and whatnot tend to have that Friday rush out factor, especially on opening weekend. But anyway, that's not bad. Should do all right for itself. Number 2 was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That was down 41% to 16.7. Has a total of 145. Still seems headed for a total 175, 185, which is really quite good. It's doing well. And our number 1 movie was Guardians of the Galaxy, which rose back into the top spot via a slight fall of 32% to 17.2 million. That lifted it to 251.5. So with that, it surpassed Transformers to become the highest grossing of the summer, and it has by today surpassed Captain America to be the highest of the year. It should play really well over Labor Day weekend as it continues its march toward 300.
So Yeah, first I just want to mention one thing. I keep moving back and forth in my seat because my back is killing me. So I'm sorry to you, and I'm sorry to you viewers. But my back hurts, all right? So leave me alone.
Just get an icy hot patch.
Yeah, I should. I want another championship so bad, it hurts. That was supposed to be Shaq. I don't know what it sounded like. I apologize, Shaq. So, yeah, I mean, it's... I was waiting for Guardians of the Galaxy to kind of make its way back to number one. So it's kind of cool to see Guardians recapture the number one spot. And but it also tells you about the times of the time of the movies right now where like nothing's coming out, and we've reached the end of the summer season, and just the crap is going to start to come in. So, I mean, other than that, I think Teenage Mutant Turtles is doing fantastic for itself.
Oh, absolutely.
Honestly,
yeah.
I'm very impressed with what they've been able to do. Still yet to see that film, but you know, it's doing quite well for them for itself.
And it's holding halfway decently.
Exactly.
It didn't crash and burn.
Exactly. So, and like you said, I think both those films will benefit from the Labor Day weekend. You know, if I stay, that's good. I mean, that's solid for that film. I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, it's a solid opening. It's not huge, but I mean, it's pretty solid for a movie like that. It's kind of disappointing that Sin City just completely bombed, but it's understandable. I just thought more people would have come out with just based on the star power that's in that film. However, Expendables 3 also proved that I guess that doesn't quite matter anymore, or at least when you've done it before. So, you know, it's upsetting, but it's understandable. And I guess that's my limited thoughts on the thing. The box office. That's it. All right. So now we got to get to the movies that are coming out this weekend, and well, actually, and a movie that was released on Wednesday for like no reason, in a month that the title doesn't say it should be released in. So it's just all messed up, and that's proven by the fact that it's totally flopping.
Oh, horribly.
Yeah, well, let's start with it. The November Man opened on a Wednesday in August for, you know. So why didn't they just call it the August Man? But anyway, that would sound stupid. Okay, the November Man actually does sound better. But anyway, you know, I like Pierce Brosnan. And I thought he was a pretty good Bond. I mean, until Daniel Craig came and kind of blew him out of the water. But GoldenEye is a fantastic film.
And a better game.
And a better game. So, yeah, I mean, I was intrigued, but reviews and, you know, the people going to see it just doesn't seem like it worked.
Yeah, I agree. Opened pretty disastrously on Wednesday. It's going to make like $4 million this weekend, best case scenario. So, not good.
We also have As Above, So Below. Or is that what it's called?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. And as you guys know, I stay away from horror, so go ahead.
I like the title. I just like the way it's phrased, and it's kind of different. The concept itself also isn't terrible. Exploring the catacombs below Paris, which are real. I'm sure they're not, you know, the gates to hell. Maybe they are. I haven't been there.
You don't know.
Anyway, it's not a terrible concept, but you know, with the reviews and everything, it doesn't really seem like it's standing out. And best case scenario, it makes like $10 million this weekend. So Guardians should pretty easily lead again.
Yeah, I feel like that movie's trying to be The Descent, and like it's not.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. But did anything else come out? Something else?
Those are the two major ones.
I think the Ghostbusters is re-released or something,
yes, it
right?
is.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was a good movie.
Yeah,
so
that's a better option than almost anything else.
Yeah. If you didn't see it now, go and see it. I mean that pretty much wraps it up for this week. We've got 20 seconds to spare. Any thoughts? College football's back. It's great. Next week's the NFL. I'm excited. We could get out of the doldrums of baseball, although I like it. He hates it. Whatever. Football, baby. draft and stuff. Have a good week.